So we're on chapter 2 in your culinary class. That's what I'm calling it. That's your cooking class. And now we're going to go over some basic equipment and techniques. So we need to know our equipment, don't we? So it says, as in all areas of life, good stewardship is a valuable aspect of culinary skill. Properly caring for the kitchen and its many tools provides a safe working environment and keeps things in good working order. To maintain an orderly, food-safe environment, leave the kitchen clean and dry after each use. Be sure to wipe off the stove top, including the drip pans, wash the dining room table and counters, dry the dish strainer if applicable, empty the sink, the sink strainer, rinse and dry the sink, and dry the faucets and sweep the floor and mop as needed. So it's good to do those things. We know that, to clean up. That's part of working in the kitchen is the cleanup. We have a cleanup crew sometimes, usually not, but we make sure that it's cleaned up, especially because it may harbor diseases if not, So, and also another thing is to make sure that we read our owner's manuals of our appliances. And that's what we're going to go over is all these different appliances. But we need to read the owner's manual, and that way we're doing things correctly in dealing with our appliances and keeping them in good working order, or not hurting ourselves, right? So the first appliance, let's just get into the appliances. So the first appliance we're going to be talking about is the freezer, refrigerator freezer, I should say. So basically to wipe up any spills in your refrigerator with soapy water, with the dish soap water. And sometimes it says to put baking soda. I like to put baking soda in my refrigerator because baking soda absorbs smells. So, and one thing in your refrigerator, and you have to come see my refrigerator, that anything that's expired, make sure you get rid of it. If something is going to expire in the next few days, either eat it or you're going to have to get rid of it. So this will prevent cross-contamination. Cross-contamination can be just by smelling, the smell of cross-contamination. You don't want to have something that's full of mold, in your refrigerator. So it says clean your refrigerator at least once a month if you can, and clean all the bins, take the bins out and wash and dry them, all the parts. And this will keep bacteria from growing in or from foods getting rotten, So do not use abrasive cleaners like, Comet or something, abrasive cleaners, because they can, when you scrub, you can cause scratches on these things and stuff. And these scrubbers scratching everything can ruin your appliances. Before you put things back into the refrigerator, you have to take everything out and wash it. And you're taking out, make sure when you put them back, you have your jars. You have certain jars, your ketchup jar or your mustard jar or whatever you're dressing. Wipe them off before you put them back. Wipe them off with soap, actually wet towel with soap, and then dry them. So you wipe them off. Wipe off jars. And then it says something about the gasket seals. So if you have a gasket seal, here we go. Seals that are called gaskets. Because this gasket is key to the proper operating of the appliance, it must be clean and in good repair. To clean it, this is 2 tablespoons of bleach per hot water. Well, you know what? If you have a cleaning thing, use whatever you have. If you have a cleaner to clean it with, it's fine. But the bleach water will help. Anything with bleach in it, especially your cleaner if it has bleach in it, will help prevent mold and mildew and bacteria on that gasket area. So we're talking about refrigerators. Picture of a stove there, though. So freezers, again, we used to have freezers that you have to defrost. And every time it says when you get 1/4 ice buildup in your freezer, defrost it. We used to have defrost freezers all the time. It was terrible. But now we have freezers that you don't have to defrost, which are awesome. Most are frost-free freezers now. And so when you're cleaning, it says you can use diluted baking soda and with your warm cloth, a damp cloth, go in and clean the freezer. So before I go on with this, I want to go over here because there were some other freezer tips that I skipped. Let me go back and see if I can find those quickly. Here, tips and techniques for proper food storage. Keep the refrigerator temperature at a range of 35 degrees to 40 degrees. Make sure the temperature is the right temperature. Cover your foods to avoid spills and transfer of odors. So always cover your foods with plastic or foil or however, so that it's not going to transfer the odor to other foods. Discard foods when they're out of date. Yep, we know that. Clean the refrigerator. Yep, we know that. Maintain a freezer. Let's talk about the freezer. The temperature of the freezer has to be 0 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. This allows frozen foods to stay frozen when new foods are placed in the freezer. And then they have to place them in special freezer bags or freezer wrap. So packaging used for freezer food should be moisture and vapor proof. Freezer burn. What's a freezer burn? When you take something out and you're going to cook it and then it looks kind of weird because it's been freezer burned, you got to throw it away. So foods that have freezer burn are not spoiled, but they will, however, have poor flavor. So freezer burn usually occurs when foods are improperly packaged for freezer storage or stored in extended periods of time, okay? So freezer burns. Label and date your foods when you put them in the freezer. That's a good thing. I never do, but put a marker, put the date. You think, man, this has been in here for 5 years. Maybe we should eat it. I don't know. But rotate your foods by using those with the earliest date so you don't have food at the bottom of your freezer that's been there forever. Keep a chart of the date, which we don't do, but a good tip to do. Keep a chart of the date when the item was frozen so the food can be used before it goes bad. So, especially if you have a very large freezer. So let's go back to the refrigerator. The range. Let's talk about our stove. The range. Stovetop. Let's talk about the stovetop. So it says the best thing that you can do when you have a stovetop and you're stirring thing is have a spoon rest. So then you don't have to clean up when you stir something out and you put it on the counter. You have to clean the whole counter. Don't you love those spoon rests? I have some of those. One of my best thing to do when I'm working in the kitchen is to be able to put it in a spoon rest. Use the correct size pot or pan. Make sure that you're not going to overfill that pot or pan or put hardly nothing in it. Just use the correct size, that you know. Let's see. And then go as much as possible. Clean the stove often. A surface cleaning should be performed daily. So clean daily, your stove daily. You can use a nylon scrubber. Don't use any abrasives like steel wool and really abrasive cleaners. But you can use soap and water. But a nylon, have you ever seen a nylon scrubber? It's very light. Nylon scrubber. Because if you get scratches, when I talk about scratches can produce rusts. So then your range stovetop will have areas that are rusted because they were scratched. So wipe with the front when you have the glass in the front, as you see on that stove. You can wipe that glass outside with glass cleaner and paper towels. And then on top of the stove, you want to take off those, if they come off, you can take off those knobs and clean them and scrub the knobs and put them back in. Because in those knobs can have a lot of bacteria in them, so it's good to wipe off those knobs. Also, the burners, drip pans, you can remove them and soak them in dishwasher. Some of the drip pans you can just put right in the dishwasher if you have a dishwasher too. So let's, here we go here. Special considerations for gas stoves. So a gas stove and an electric stove, right? You know the difference? So a gas stove, you're going to basically clean it with a wire brush and stuff, and make sure the pilot light's not clogged, and you're cleaning it off. Gas stove, to find out where the pilot light, you might have to look at your manual, but and that way of clean. Electric stoves, some electric stoves have these electric burners, as for the electric burners, you don't want to take them off and get them wet. Take them off and put them in water. In fact, you can get shocked by them if you do, if you're just going to immerse them in water. And do not line them with aluminum foil underneath them, because this will reflect heat and make things, maybe even cause a fire. So don't line them with aluminum foil. So, and as for the electric stove that's smooth, the smooth electric stove, smooth top stove, wait until it's cool before you clean it. You can usually put a little bit of vinegar water or some baking soda and use that with dish soap to clean electric stove. So here we have cleaning stoves. So let's see. Oven. Let's go on to the oven. Maintaining the oven. So there's a lot of different oven cleaners that you can have. I love to have a self-cleaning oven because oven cleaners, you have to be careful of oven cleaners. You can't breathe oven cleaners because they go get in your lungs and cause you to get very sick. So there's a lot of commercial cleaners, but remember, they're very harsh, and they sometimes have spray. And you spray them, and as you spray them, they may come back on you. And even if they touch your skin, these oven cleaners, they can cause problems, skin injury, and if get in your eye, you might have to go to the hospital. So they have harsh chemicals in the oven cleaners. So, but a lot of them work if you do use them properly. Put on glasses, when you're using them, and put on long gloves when you're using oven cleaners. But most ovens, they are self-cleaning, which is good. And so you don't have to do not use a commercial cleaner on the self-cleaning oven at all. You don't need to. It says, never spray cleaner right in a hot oven. I tried to do that one time. That was not a good thing. And never spray on the light in the oven, because it'll probably break the light, which it did, So do not spray oven cleaner on oven light, heating element, or pilot light, and never spray oven cleaner into a hot oven. Do not use commercial oven cleaners in self-cleaning oven, okay? Let's go on to the oven racks. So the oven racks can be cleaned with hot water and a degreaser. If they're heavily soiled, place them in a plastic garbage bag and add a half a cup of ammonia. You seal that bag shut and then place it outdoors. You place it outdoors so you don't get the fumes of the ammonia, right? And let it sit overnight outdoors with the ammonia on it. And then before removing the racks, when you open the bag, don't just put your face down there. Open the bag way away from you so that you can let the fumes get out. So just a deal, right? So some parts of the oven require special attention. So ammonia water or glass cleaner, you can have those that have ammonia. I tell you, never mix ammonia with Clorox. It produces a deadly gas. So if you're using Clorox, do not use it mixed with ammonia in any way, because you might have to go to the hospital. It gets into your lungs. That's important. It's not written here, but that's important. So anyway, self-cleaning, let's talk about a self-cleaning oven. You can pre-program it to clean it, and you have to read the directions and, put it in there. It will automatically lock. When the self-cleaning, it will lock. And then after it cleans it and such, then you can just wipe everything out. There'll be everything will turn to like ashes, so. But when it unlocks, it's still going to be extremely hot. So wait till it cools off till way later. Don't just open that oven afterwards, to clean it. So important safety tips there. So let's go on to the microwave. Microwave. Let's talk about the microwave. Microwaves, we use it all the time, don't we? So the microwave is the easiest to clean. You just take warm soapy water and clean it. And The door seal is very important to clean the door seal. Now, if the door isn't used, if it's damaged, it's not safe to use a microwave if the door is damaged. You can have major problems in that. So makes the door sealing is so important. But wipe that area clean. It says here a good thing is to take 1 cup of water and mix it with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and put it in a safe bowl, microwave safe bowl, and then turn the power on for 3 to 4 minutes, and then you wait for 15 minutes afterwards. Just wait, let the lemon juice and everything in there. After the 3 and 4, just wait for 15 minutes, and then this will soften any hard particles in your microwave, and you can just wipe them off. Great tip, huh? Microwave. Onto a garbage disposal. We're going to talk about cooking in these microwaves too, but not right now. The garbage disposal. Garbage disposal can have very stale odors. Ours was come in what is smelling? It's something in the garbage disposal. Because something got stuck in the garbage disposal and it started decaying, and it could stink up the whole house. So to get rid of these, it says to plug your sink in and partially fill water, add a 1/2 cup baking soda to the water, and then turn on the disposal. So in doing this, you do this every 2 weeks. This baking soda, I guess, really, that's why it's good to have baking soda, will clean out your garbage disposal and get rid of that smell. Baking soda is really good for smells. So it says here, flush the disposal every 2 weeks. Doing this to sharpen and clean the blades, grind ice in the disposal. So, another thing is don't forget to clean the rubber flap, because the rubber flap can be very important when you're cleaning. Be careful you don't turn the garbage disposal and stick your hand down there. You can, cut your hand up into a lot of pieces, let's just say. So, so we want to sharpen the blades. You can just pour ice down and it will sharpen the blades, and put some vinegar down there too to clean it out. So some things not to put into garbage disposal. So don't dump a bunch of coffee grounds down there. Plug it up. Don't take a whole pan of grease and stick grease down there. It will just plug it up for sure. Certain fibrous vegetables or fruit like celery, potato peels. Every Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law, she's in heaven now, but she used to come and she'd always fix mashed potatoes, but she'd always peel the potato peels and then put them down the garbage disposal. And then we'd have our sink would be plugged up, and we'd have to call a plumber for our sink. So never put potato peels in the garbage disposal. Or nuts, don't put nuts down there. A lot of nuts, or a lot of pasta. A lot of pasta expands when it gets wet. So you have a whole bunch of pasta. Don't just dump that pasta, because then it'll expand and clog it up. So that's good to know. So run for 15 to 30 seconds after it's empty. When it's empty, then keep running for a little while, for at least 30 seconds more. So you put it in the garbage disposal and some of the waste down there, and it goes through, and then let it go a little longer. And run it frequently, because if you don't run the garbage disposal enough, it isn't going to work properly. Never knew that. The dishwasher. Let's talk about the dishwasher. The dishwasher is pretty self-cleaning inside. You don't have to clean the inside of a dishwasher usually. It says here to keep the interior well sparkling and the drain hoses clear, you can periodically add 1 quart of vinegar to an empty dishwasher and run a regular cycle if you want to, but you don't have to do that. So let's go on to the next page. Here's a guy doing the dishes, huh? Doesn't always look like that, does it? So, the filter. I didn't know about the filter of the dishwasher. So it says here, most dishwashers manufactured after 2010 have a filter to catch food that is washed off the dishes. And this filter can be cleaned periodically to prevent drains from clogging and the dishwasher from producing unpleasant odors. That's what happened. I didn't know that our dishwasher had a filter, and every time afterwards it would start smelling. And I said, Papu, is there something wrong with this? Why is my dishwasher smelling? And it was because the filter in there had not been cleaned. And so he cleaned the filter. But it says how to do this. It said a filter should be cleaned about once a month, but may need to be cleaned more frequently if loads are run each week. Anyway, it says to remove the filter, locate it on the floor of the dishwasher and rotate it clockwise until you're able to remove it. Remove it and put it back in. Make sure you put it back in correctly, right? So it says, shine the exterior of the dishwasher using glass cleaner and spray the cleaner on a rag. It says spray the cleaner on the rag first and then wipe the surface. So don't just spray the glass cleaner right on it. Spray it on a rag first and wipe so that then you won't harm something, you know, by just spraying it right on the beautiful dishwasher, you know. A good way of cleaning. So this says, sprayed cleaning products can enter the small openings around the controls and become gummy, and it also can introduce moisture into the electrical components. This cleaning tip is true for many other appliances. Always use caution with spray bottles, right? Use caution. Don't spray in your face or in your eyes. To maintain the dishwasher, use only detergent that is designed for it. That's important. I remember years ago when we first got a dishwasher and we didn't know anything about a dishwasher when I was a kid. And I said, Mom said, just put some dish soap in it. So I thought she was talking about dish soap. I didn't know that they had a special soap. So we put dish soap in it. And as the dishwasher started going, it flooded the whole kitchen with soap all over the kitchen because I put dish soap in, a bunch of dish soap in the dishwasher instead of dishwasher soap. So it's important that you use the correct detergent, the correct washer detergent, you know, not for using Dawn or Palmolive or something in your dishwasher will never ever work well. So cabinets, countertops, this kind of stuff. Okay, some of the tips here. It says, know what kind of cabinet countertop you have and how to clean it, right? That's number one. And so cabinets and drawers, pests can hide in them, even rodents. So clean out your drawers more often. It says 2 times a year, clean and dry drawers. Now, I don't always do that, but it's kind of important to clean your drawers in case you got some bugs get in there, right? And you have especially silverware drawers that are looking gross. So empty one drawer at a time and clean. I have emptied all my drawers, and then it becomes huge. I can't remember what things go in what drawer anymore, you know. Do one drawer at a time when you're cleaning drawers and clean them and drying. One drawer at a time. And then it says, start cleaning when you clean the whole kitchen. Here's a picture of a kitchen. You want to clean this kitchen? It says start cleaning from the ceiling and work towards the floor. I never knew that either. Start at the ceiling, you know, start with the light fixtures, you know, onto the interior cabinets. Do the top ones, the top cabinets first, and then inside and outside of your doors. Make sure that they're clean. Dry your cupboards before you replace liners in them. If you have liners, dry them first, or else the liners will stick, won't they? So starting with the top shelf, you know, go on and cleaning the other shelves down. And then keep the doors closed as much as possible so that you don't get contamination. Just keep the drawers and doors closed. It makes everything neat anyway. So a good tip here is organizing. It says organize your kitchen. How good when you have an organized kitchen. Evaluate how each item is used so you know, where will I need this item the most? So that's what I think too. So utensils for cooking, I keep close to the stove. And then glasses, where are you going to use the glass? If glasses are going to be filled with water, keep them close to where the refrigerator is if possible, so that you can fill them with ice and water. And where is convenient for emptying the dishwasher? So if you're emptying the dishwasher, you need to put all the silverware. Don't put the silverware drawer clear on the other side of the kitchen where you have to walk clear over there all the time. Put the silverware where you can just, in unloading the dishwasher or taking the dishes out of the sink, you can put them into you put them directly into the silverware drawer. So it's just keeping everything handy is so important, and just to think, where you think things should be located the best and be more convenient. So this section is finished, but I'm going to go over this next section because it's small appliances and I think it's very short. So let's go over these quickly. And it's how to operate these small appliances. You should read the manuals. So small kitchen appliances that range from electric canivores to automatic milk frothers. All these little appliances, we have a lot of them. Some common ones first are the mixer. The mixer, you can either have a mixer like that picture where it mixes in a bowl, or you can have a hand mixer that you use with your hand. So some of the things have detachable accessories that go with them. So make sure that when you're inserting any detachable accessory that you have it unplugged. So if you have a hand mixer, you make sure that it's unplugged and then put in those parts, those mixing tools, those little things in, and then make sure it's unplugged whenever you're attaching things. So it's going. The appliance should, okay, we go down here. It says, clean the motor housing of hand mixers and stand mixers with a damp cloth. Never submerge the motor housing, the motors into water. We know that. And mixers have a variety of speeds, but always start them, whenever you turn them on, start them at the lowest speed. You don't want a big mess, do you? So be careful not to overmix something. So start at a low speed and find out how much it needs to mix. You don't want to overmix and you don't want to undermix. So that's your mixer. So let's go on to the toaster. So toaster, a lot of times bread gets stuck, lodged in the toaster. So when you're cleaning it, you have to get a piece of bread out or something that's stuck in the toaster. Unplug the toaster and then, get a knife and get it out. Don't stick a knife when it's in the toaster plugged in. You can get electrocuted. I'm sure your mom told you that one. Be careful, the toaster being hot, as you grab toast when it comes out. I have a little device, the toaster now, that's a little prong that I can just, when the toast comes up, I can grab the toast with this prong instead of with my fingers and get burnt, So clean the toaster with dish soap, unplug it though. And then the crumb tray, usually it has a crumb tray. You can take the crumb tray out and dump it, or you can take the whole toaster and just, dump it over the garbage to get all those crumbs out of there. And that's a good way of cleaning too. Blender, of course, the blender, you see a picture there. It has the motor base in the pitcher. So learn how to clean it. It has a gasket and blade at the top that screws on. So you can see here, they're placed properly in the bottom of the pitcher, and that band is screwed on tightly. So we see that. So before blending, make sure that everything's locked in place. If it needs to be locked in place, the lid's on tightly. Don't blend everything with the lid off, or you're going to have food going all over the place. Always blend begin at the lowest speed of blending too. So unplug it if you're going to clean it. Of course, you can usually in a blender, you can take the top part and put it in the dishwasher if you need to. So if you take the pitcher part, but cleaning the motor again, just wipe it off. So let's go on to the food processor. Here's a picture of food processor. It's a bowl kind of processor look. It has different attachments that will chop, mince, or mix, or blend, or puree. So it will chop things up, mince things up, mix things up, blend things up, or puree things up. And so it also has a certain disc you can put in there that will shred things and slice things even. I've never been really good at a food processor, but before using, you make sure that you have the proper blade and it's locked in place. And then you can use a pulse it for just a while. Pulse. You have a pulse there. You don't have to just put it on. Just pulse it for really quick or delicate spurts, so you know that you're not going to do it too quickly or mix it too much. So and then the slicer is a different attachment that you put in there. Make sure you don't put your fingers in the tube in any way, or you're going to get cut. It's easy to overfill a processor. If you overfill it, you'll burn it out. So you only could put a few things in a processor at a certain time, or else you will, it will just, and the motor will just burn up. Unplug it again to clean. Dismantle all the parts and wash them in soapy water, right? And damply wash, take a damp cloth and wash out the bottom of it, the motor part. So that's food processor. Electric can opener. Electric can opener, we used to have those put on the wall. You know, basically you need to wash the top of the cans, it says. I never do. Before using electric can opener, wash the top of a can with soapy water and dry it. That way you won't have a lot of bacteria. And make sure you unplug it, you know, when you're cleaning the blades. It is critical to unplug the appliance and clean the cutting bin with a damp soapy cloth. Because guess what? If you use a can opener on everything and you don't clean it, you can have bacteria that you're transporting in between each can, right? So it's important to clean it. So the next two sections, I'm going to go over basic cooking techniques and then using a recipe. But we're going to quit there. I hope now you kind of know about your use, but now we're going to talk about how to use these things, how to, you know, how to cooking techniques and using your microwave and your oven and stuff. But let's do that in the next video.